All right. Trying to figure out my lighting situation still until I can get a new desk. So my lights where I'm at currently, like my desk is against this wall. There's a hutch on the back of it, and it's like small-ish, so I don't have a lot of space. So I have lights kind of beside me because they won't go. There's no space for them behind the desk. It's just a wall. So if I look like a little dark, just let me know and I'll try to fix it. But at this moment in time, I will either look kind of dark and shadowy or so bright I have no nose like Voldemort. So we got to pick between one of the two. See, don't worry. I know. People always tell me these things right away, and I'm just like, oh god, here we go. I'm gonna give a couple minutes to somebody else to join us, and then we'll get started. Okay. Layla P, yeah, you were gifted a membership. I don't know who did it. A couple people gifted memberships last night. We're gonna do something members only this week. I will not be putting anything like substantial behind a paywall. It'll just be like an extra game night or something like that. Tonight, I wanted to do Quiplash, and then so much came up that there's like so much I want to cover. So hopefully we will get 1 or 2 games of Quiplash in the end. If not, I'll come back and I'll do a game stream tomorrow or Wednesday night. We'll have to decide which one. But we have a lot to go over tonight. So D Robertson, you look good. Okay, cool. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, let me do that. Need the game. You need the game. All right. Okay. Laura Mays, hey, how's it going? Justice for Clayton, hi. How are you guys? Rasmataz, yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I like Omar. He's very smart, and he just generally seems like a good person. So, it's nice to be able to talk with him and stuff like that. So that was fun. I've only been on his stream 2 times now, but we just met, so um, be pretty cool. Looking forward to talking to him some more and picking his brain a little bit. So, Arion Fowler, hey, how's it going? All right, guys. What I want to do, we really have a lot to go over tonight. First thing we're gonna do, first thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna go through that message to Mike Marraccini. We'll just go over the last few minutes, so I want everyone to hear, the voices and stuff that we're speaking in his support. The next thing we'll do is go over this analysis of the real estate like thing that she was bringing up last night. That'll be quick. We will talk about the new Medium article. We'll talk about why I don't feel like we should Chris Crocker it. And then hopefully, if we have time, we'll play some games because it is already 9:30 where I'm at. But hopefully, and then if we don't have time to play games, like I said before, we'll do it tomorrow or the next night. But I'm thinking I'm gonna try to rally, so we'll see. MS Kimmy, more arts and crafts. Photo on new blog is so off. Oh yeah. Well, we'll go over that. Don't worry. Hey, Mrs. Brightside. Alright, guys. This is what I want to start out with. Hang on. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. Brady Paralegal, this is for giving voices to those whose stories she stole. Thank you. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. And thank you, Miss Kimmy, for the 2. Appreciate you guys. Always. So, Oh my god, I have a really important call right now. I'm gonna play this for you. Hang on. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, what's up? Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I saw you on my call already. Hey, give me 1 second, okay? And had to have an ovary removed. But Laura Owens never had ovarian cancer. She now admits that. She claims they weren't her documents, that she never claimed to have cancer, but as I said, a forensic expert has confirmed that she did. Laura Owens faked cancer to Michael Marraccini. That's why we don't believe her. And she feels.
Zoom in as much as you want. You can get the name of the.
Wait, that has a lot number on it. That has a lot number on it. Can you zoom in again? Is there any way to see? Is the number on the bottom there where it says lot number? Is it the same in the other photo?
To my unadulterated eyes, it looks like a P15B, and that looks like a P15B going up the side.
So, what are the odds that she has the exact same tag? Aside from what I believe to be an intentionally misleading photo used to lie and say that Michael Marraccini abused her when he did not, Laura Owens relies on the vague account of a stranger who was commenting on relationship dynamics she was not familiar with involving people she knows nothing about. Any random stranger could hear the reaction of somebody trying to get somebody who is emotionally terrorizing them to stop and assume that that person was being mean. No, they were just trying to protect themselves and their space. It is my belief that Michael Marraccini, Clayton Eckerd, and Greg Gillespie were never physically violent towards Laura. They were never abusive in any way. My name is Lauren Knighty. I was a victim of abuse and violence. I know what Michael Marraccini has been accused of. I also know who his accuser is. I believe Michael Marraccini, and I am not the only one.
I am a domestic violence survivor, and I believe Michael Marraccini.
I am a victim of domestic violence, and I believe Mike Marraccini.
I am a child sexual abuse survivor, and I stand with Michael Marraccini.
I escaped a 10-year-long physically and emotionally abusive marriage. I believe Mike Marraccini.
I am a survivor of abuse, and I believe Mike Marraccini.
I'm a survivor of intimate partner violence in the form of emotional, verbal, and physical abuse. I believe and stand with Mike Marraccini.
As a woman who is a survivor of sexual abuse as well as domestic violence, I was disappointed in what the system did. Don't let her get away with this anymore.
I know what it's like to be gaslit, to be manipulated, to have it seep into the other areas of your life and take away the experiences you should have been able to have. I know what it's like to have a loved one fake cancer. I believe Mike Marraccini.
I felt completely connected to Mike Marraccini as a survivor of domestic abuse. For some reason, we believe that we are responsible for their well-being.
I am a survivor of abuse. I believe Mike Marraccini. I believe Clayton Eckerd. And I believe Greg Gillespie.
I'm a survivor of domestic abuse, and I believe Mike Marraccini.
I am a survivor of abuse, and I absolutely believe in the innocence of Mike Marraccini. And I'm so sorry that he is going through this.
I am a physical and verbal abuse survivor. I believe Mike Marraccini.
I am a survivor, and I believe Mike Marraccini.
I am also a survivor of domestic violence, and Mike Marraccini, I believe you. None of this is your fault, and nothing that you did ever made you deserve this. You're not alone, and we support you. You are seen, you are heard, and understood.
I know what it's like to be lied to and abused in a way that's so emotionally crippling and exhausting, and then to have that person turn around and say the abuser was you. I won't stand by and say nothing while this woman continues to terrorize her victim years after he finally escaped her. None of us will.
I am a domestic violence survivor, and I believe Michael Marraccini.
I'm a survivor of abuse, and I believe and support Mike Marraccini.
I was a Mike Marraccini. Too nice, too forgiving, and too understanding. I don't want to have sex with you, I said to him. My 10th no wasn't enough, and neither was my last stop. Throwing me on the floor meant nothing to him. I was called a bitch, whore, and nothing without him. My name is Schnitzel Ninja, and I am a survivor of domestic violence. I support Mike Marraccini.
As women who have faced abuse in our lives, we want justice for victims and for those who are wrongly accused. We will not allow our experience to be exploited to hurt someone else. I believe Mike Marraccini, Clayton Eckerd, and Greg Gillespie. We are not afraid to call it like we see it. When a woman abuses a social justice movement and twists the system to try to hurt others.
I want to ask you so you can get it off your chest here. Did you ever abuse or batter Laura Owens?
No, of course not. It's completely fabricated. Going back and rereading some of the text messages, I mean, I know that I suffered trauma, let's just say, from her because I blacked out so much of the messages. I mean, it was just constant conflict and chaos. Laura kept wanting me to say that I loved her and that I trusted her and that I moved past what had just happened. And I mean, like 2 weeks before, she had told me that she had faked the pregnancies and happily married. I have a child. I tried to just put it past me. And for years, though, I suffered, why somebody would try to do this to me, because I always thought being kind at the end of the day would set you apart. Like, she's never provided a piece of evidence that I actually hurt her. There's never a text message. There's never an email. There's never a photo. There's nothing. It's been challenging, and I still feel immense shame, but I feel the best I've ever felt. Every day it gets a little bit better.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. People don't call me, and when they call me, I don't answer. But I had to answer that one. That was somebody I haven't heard from in a while, so it was good. It was good. Anyways, guys, like I said, I just wanted to show that in case anyone missed it earlier. And we have a lot of stuff I want to go over tonight, but let me pull up what I wanted to show you. Look at new comments. Here it is. Okay, so somebody who's a real estate investor, they posted this. I don't want to say she because I'm assuming based on the name, but I'm not sure. They posted this comment, and I don't know if you guys have seen it. And it kind of debunks a lot of what Laura had said in her Medium article the other night about the real estate deal. So I want to go over that. Hold on. Let me pull that up. Okay. Let me make sure I pull up this Medium article before it gets possibly deleted, because you never know with this one, right? Oh, here it is. It's still there. Oh, okay. So I was on Omar's stream, Tilted Lawyer stream, right before this, and we had been reading some of the newest Medium article, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I got so bored of her recycling the same arguments that I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Anyways, is there an easier way to see whose Laura is Discord versus Patreon? I'm not sure what that means, T3. But yeah. If anybody knows, could you help me out and answer T3 in the comments? So let's go over this statement first regarding the Medium post about the real estate deal, because she was harping on that. I think it was 2 nights ago. I think she gave us the night off last night. Is that correct? I don't know. I think she did. So. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Brightside. Okay. So, I know nothing about real estate, and as I said the other night, I'm probably never going to own property. I have no interest in it. I would rather have a vacation and a good steak than own a house. So, a lot of what she was saying in that, I was just like, okay, sure, whatever. But this person really goes to town explaining it. Hang on. And I guess you guys can see all my favorite subreddits over there. Hang on. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Yeah. That looks better. Okay. So, I'm a real estate investor, fairly new to it myself, and I also spent about 2 years studying before beginning. As of now, I've done a couple of fix and flips, and I'm about to close on my first single-family rental property. Let me say this. Her whole little spiel about how/why she picked Clayton as her agent makes 0 sense. Before I started investing, I read about 10 books, attended about 30 to 50 meetups, and listened to about 100 Bigger Pockets podcast episodes, and every single one of those recommended to work with an experienced realtor, specifically those with significant previous experience working with investors. Most agents don't jump to working with investors, as it's a different ballpark, and Clayton seems to be involved with general residential sales based on his Instagram, and as we know, this was the first ever client he would work with. I spoke with about 30 different realtors before purchasing my first property to fix and flip, and I didn't end up working with any of them to make my first purchase. I ended up purchasing from a wholesaler. I do work with realtors now, but typically those who have at least 3 years working with investors. As a beginner myself, it would be ludicrously unintelligent to work with a realtor who has no previous experience with investors. And with her claiming she put 2 years of research into investing, I have a very hard time believing any book, podcast, or mentor would have recommended she, as a new investor, should work with a brand new realtor as their very first client. So guys, this is kind of like if you had some sort of medical emergency and you sought out a doctor who's like, this is my first solo surgery ever. Like, or not even solo surgery. This is my first surgery ever. That's kind of what this person's saying in my perception. So this is just like lending more credibility, I guess, to the theory that Laura was targeting Clayton or like trying to get to Clayton rather than sincerely wanting a real estate, thing. I wonder if she would have gone through with it had he agreed to a relationship with her, but then I hate to think about what would have happened to him. So additionally, when she originally told this story, she claimed she searched creative financing on Instagram, and now she's claiming she searched seller financing on Instagram. This is interesting because while seller financing is a form of creative financing, this particular type means exactly what it sounds like, that the seller of the home finances the investment, meaning the buyer, aka Laura Owens, would not be the one putting up the cash for the deal. With seller financing, the actual seller of the home acts like the bank, giving the buyer a mortgage that would be paid out to the seller over a longer period of time, making her whole story of her 1.4 million she was risking in this case make no sense. If you're wondering, why would someone selling their home ever finance your investment? It's a niche scenario where the home being purchased is typically about to go into foreclosure, and the buyer can work out terms to help the seller from not foreclosing, and therefore, this agreement being a mutually beneficial scenario for both parties. It's not something that happens on every investment, and based on her claim, she was putting up 1.4 million and not a much smaller down payment to each seller of the two separate homes. It's apparent this wasn't what was happening on either of the two homes she was trying to get under contract with Clayton. That is like a brainful right there for me because I'm not a real estate person. But sorry guys, it's like almost 10 o'clock here. But this second part is like what really got me. I was reading this at when I was eating dinner and I like almost choked. So one sec. Okay. All right. Also, I want to note, and this is not the case in every scenario, but most of the best investors, the ones who write advice and how-to books, say they put in about 20 to 30 offers before they close on a single deal. I think I made about 6 or 7 before I closed on my first property. Her acting like her 1 or 2 initial offers falling through is somehow earth-shattering, heart-sinking, and panic attack-inducing, again, makes me quite suspicious that she spent 2 years researching how to invest in real estate. Oh, she tried to make 2 offers and didn't hear back? It happens all the time. You move on to the next. Her pushing her BS narrative even further to pretending she didn't know whether or not she just purposed properties for $1.4 million with her own money is a literal crock of shit. Making an offer does not equal closing. You don't need to be an investor to know this. Anyone who's ever purchased any home, investment or not, knows making an offer is the first step of a lot of steps that have to happen before you close on any property, including a title search, earnest money deposit, escrow, and of course, the fucking signing of the legal contract and documents transferring the title. No one is ever in a scenario where they're like, I have no idea if I just bought 2 houses or not. It's not like your fat fingers accidentally drunkenly It's not like your fat fingers accidentally drunkenly ordering something on Amazon and being surprised the next day when a package comes. There's like a lot of steps required to purchase a freaking property. And since she claims that she did end up buying an investment property after this debacle with Clayton, you would think she would know this by now. I thought that was funny. But anyways, that was super informative because like I said, I know very, very little about real estate. And by that, I mean, I live in a piece of property. That's what I know about real estate. So, yeah. I spent a year looking for houses, went through 4 realtors, looked at more houses than I could ever even try to guess, and a ton of offers. I had 2 sales fall through because the market was so tough. Yeah. Well, did you like freak out, have a panic attack, and write a novel about it? I mean, did you try to get the realtor to sign a dating contract? T3, Laura's in Dave's Discord based on new article. Was that assumed by everyone? Crazy how these cause her hell, but she keeps joining everything to cause herself hell. They don't cause her hell. She likes it. Otherwise, she wouldn't continue to do it. So, you know, and yes, that was assumed because she said something about Discord before. So, but speaking of the new article, let's get into it, and let's not call it an article. It's a glorified diary page, which is fine. Totally support diary writing. Just call it what it is. It's not like a factual piece of information. It's a feelings-based post. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in again. I'm sure a lot of you have read this by now, and like I said, I was on a stream earlier, so I've seen some of it, but we were kind of skimming a little bit of that, so we'll see. Complete side note, but I effing hate real estate investments. Driving up the cost of homes to a ridiculously overinflated amount and ensuring a huge percentage of the population will never own a home. Well, as you know, I understand. Oh, that's good, Callie. She's not going to stop if you stop. She's too narcissistic. Exactly. So, like, if people think that, you know, not like talking about her is feeding into her kind of ego, and she, is going to keep writing because she wants you to talk about it. What do you think she's going to do when you stop talking about it? It's going to be kind of like when Clayton stopped texting her back. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. So I don't I don't know. I don't know. I have differing opinions from a lot of people, but I respect everyone's opinions and what they choose to do as far as covering the case. Like I said before, you probably won't ever hear me talk about her family. You won't hear me talk about how she looks. You won't hear me talk about, like, you're not going to catch me like writing to people about her, really. Like, well, maybe the county attorney, I might, do that. But you're not going to catch me like getting involved in her day-to-day life. Why? Because I feel like for me to effectively get my point across, I have to remove myself from all of that. So what I want to do really is just like talk about the facts. Um, and a lot of times, like, some emotion does come into play because the facts of this are bizarre. But you know, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not trying to attack her personally. I might slip up every now and then because I'm human, and like I might see something so bizarre that I'm like, "Oh my god, you asshole." But I'm not setting out to do that. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but as long as she's out there trying to hurt people, I'm okay explaining why she's wrong. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. So, I have one shitty gas station margarita left. I was gonna save it for tomorrow, but I only had one earlier, so. All right. Picture this: a glowing advertisement for a pregnancy test. The suspense builds as a woman, eyes wide with hope, waits for those two magical lines to appear. The moment they do, her life transforms instantly. Tears of joy, uncontrollable laughter, and exclamations of "We're pregnant" fill the air. Wait, who's the we? Is she married? Does she have a boyfriend? Was she? You know what? I'm getting too into the details. This is a fictional scenario. It's a universal scene depicting the profound impact of a positive pregnancy test on those longing for a child. Okay, so they were longing for a child. You might want to lead with that. Now, flip the script. Imagine a teenager trembling as they reveal a positive pregnancy test to their parents. Is the response ever a casual, "It's no big deal, go back to your homework"? Absolutely not. This universal acknowledgement of the gravity of a positive pregnancy test is why companies like First Response, Clear Blue, EPT, and AccuClear thrive. Hmm. Okay, so I said this earlier when we were like skimming through this in Omar's stream. This to me reads like she's trying to like find some footing to get people to relate to her, the people on the opposite sides of the spectrum per her worldview here. There's people who want to be pregnant and there's people who don't. That's what she's thinking here. And these are just my opinions. Let's be clear about that. These are my opinions. This is my speculation. Okay? So, my opinion is that she is trying to relate to anyone and everyone, and then what she's going to do now is turn around and try to get anyone and everyone to relate to her. Okay. The absurdity of the ruling. Is that right what you jumped to? So you're doing this like she's doing this like weird, like very descriptive, flowy kind of fantastical thing here, and then she goes right into, "This is absurd. I can't believe this happened to me." So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like I said. Hold on, let me pull this up actually so I can see you guys' comments while I read. As you guys know, I've been too lazy to install the second monitor that I have sitting downstairs, so I'm using my iPad still. Okay. Judge Julie Ann Mata of the Maricopa County Superior Court seems to think that a positive pregnancy test doesn't mean what the rest of the world thinks it does. What? What world do you live in, bro? She thinks it doesn't mean you're pregnant. That's cute. I would love for her to have to argue in one of her diary posts like this. And only say HCG test, which is what it was. And I think it was Brad or somebody else pointed this out earlier that even the tests that you take, they say to go get it confirmed by a doctor. And taking another HCG test is not getting the HCG test confirmed. It's just telling you the same thing you already know, that you have HCG in your system. It's not telling you there's a fucking baby in there, like, or two for that matter. Yeah. Big farts 69,420. I am lazy. I am lazy. I'm just self-aware also. Don't worry. I don't find it disparaging. I'm just I don't want to go back up and down the stairs a bunch of times to carry equipment. It's a laziness. But thank you. All right. Despite my providing the court with multiple at-home tests. Stop you right there. What? I could have gone into her home and peed on that stick. That means nothing. A urine pregnancy test done at an urgent care facility, and even a blood test for pregnancy done at a lab. A blood test done for HCG, ma'am. All of which came back positive. Judge Mata, in essence, dismissed all of this evidence as meaningless. Because it is. Okay. So, this is another thing I said, like before on Omar's stream. I was like, these paragraphs and paragraphs right here, this is not new information. This is not a more compelling argument. It's just longer lies. It's a longer paragraph. It's a longer article. And the longer lies are not more convincing. They're not more credible. It's not helping. So, keep it up, I guess. All right. In addition, a renowned OBGYN who delivered 22,000 babies in his career, none of which were Laura's. I can't. Testified with 99% certainty that I was pregnant. No. Okay, so he might have said that, but that would literally make him the stupidest doctor I have ever heard of, encountered, or otherwise. Like, that is dumb. That is fucking dumb, because he was never her doctor. And I'll say that to his face. Call me, doc. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a professional, so I have no qualms saying I think Dr. Medchill is a fucking idiot if he believes what he said, if that's really what he meant by it. Enjoy your retirement, bro. Anyways. Despite this, the judge decided to believe the 0.1% chance that I was testing positive for other reasons. Okay. She suggested possibilities such as ovarian cancer, which I've never had, but pretended to have. You forgot that part. You pretended to have it. And I say that with my whole chest, because I'm certain that the forensic expert is correct, and not you. Medications I'm on, which the OBGYN expert confirmed would cause false positives, or HCG trigger shots, which I've never taken, and there was no evidence to suggest otherwise. Okay. If 99.9% certainty isn't enough, what is? I speak more about this in another piece I wrote called When Judges Play Doctor. Okay, that piece was stupid too. Denise Sells, he retired to Florida. Tell him to stay away from me. I don't care. Sorry, I just gotta... Okay. After a doctor confirmed that I had miscarried. What fucking doctor? What doctor confirmed you miscarried? I saw something about a suspected miscarriage. Can anyone in the comments tell me? Did any doctor actually confirm that she had a miscarriage? Because what I saw, what I heard was, you need to go get this confirmed in person. From a fucking telehealth person. Like, holy shit. I could have given the same advice they did. That's how qualified they were to tell her that she had a miscarriage. All right. The mom doctor, aka mom doc. Yeah, they didn't confirm that though. They wrote that she, had suspicions of a pregnancy or something. And also, she said that mom doc record was wrong on like every other level. So why should I believe that? Answer that question. You won't. I guess your diary's already full. Sorry, I'm being a little mean tonight, guys. I didn't mean to. I'm not being mean about her personally, just about her stupid arguments here because we know they're untruthful. So, like I said, you will not hear me attack her personal life or anything like that. But if her arguments are stupid, I'm gonna call them stupid. T3, no one can confirm something that doesn't exist. That's true. Okay. I tried to dismiss it last December, which the judge granted, but then rescinded her ruling. After extensive motions were filed and a brief evidentiary hearing on June 10th. Okay, fuck you. I'm sorry. Her ruling came down on June 18th. Sanctions, attorney's fees, despite neither the alleged father nor I being represented by lawyers at the time I filed to withdraw my petition to establish paternity, and a referral to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for possible prosecution. Okay. Okay, so what you're saying is you should be able to take him to court, drain his money and his time. No, even if it doesn't drain his money, it takes his time, it takes an emotional toll. You should be able to terrorize this man and then be like, oh, never mind when you start to get caught. No, that's not how that fucking works. Yes, it is totally just that you should have to pay those fees. Because that man had every right to defend himself. Meg the Rockhounders, Laura refuses to admit how simple this all could be. My son thought he broke his arm. I'm not a doctor. I took him to a doctor who did x-rays. He didn't break his arm. Bam, done. Okay, but how many times did your son pee on a stick? No, I'm done. All right. Why? Why, really? According to the ruling, petitioner acted unreasonably when she initiated litigation without basis or merit. Furthermore, the court found my actions unreasonable and uncredible due to my failure to seek in-person care for a high-risk pregnancy. Huh. This article could end right here. Judge Mata even verified the positive pregnancy test multiple times as facts in her findings of facts. HCG test. You're not distracting anybody when you say it over and over and over again. You're not gonna, like, bog people down to the point where they lose their will to, like, think logically and then be like, okay, I guess she's right. Like, it's not fucking working. Just accept it. How is my filing the case without basis or merit or unreasonable? I'm not even going to bother with that one. Furthermore, the ruling declared my petition premature at best, even though there are no set standards for what constitutes a premature petition in such cases. That's stupid. Sometimes things that are legal are still stupid. That's stupid. That's my opinion. Sorry, I should probably say that so, no one gets butt hurt. Gotcha, Meg. Gotcha. All right. The double standard. Sure. To fully grasp the injustice of this ruling, consider how Arizona typically handles paternity cases. I don't need to, because none of them are like this one. According to the Arizona revised statutes, the mother can file a paternity case based on her belief of the pregnancy, and no additional evidence is required. That's fine, but you didn't actually believe that. You made it up, so. You can file while you're pregnant, which I did. Well, you weren't pregnant, so. This clearly shows the state's supportive approach rather than a punitive one. Yeah, if you're pregnant and you were not. The Arizona Division of Child Support Services website says if you are unsure of paternity, genetic testing may be needed to prove the identity of the father. DCSS will pay this cost until paternity is established. Okay, but does that apply in the cases where the mother is not pregnant? Apple says Laura's story that she was over halfway through a high-risk twin pregnancy with no birthing plans, no care or concern for the lives supposedly growing inside her. How does this even work in real life? It does not. Apples. Grandkids Taxi, hey, how you doing? Alright. Wait, so a woman can think, might be this guy, but probably not. I can't really remember what we did because I was so drunk. As many times as she wants to and not be punished. The state will even pay the cost of testing until she gets it, right? So why am I being punished? Because you faked a pregnancy. On purpose. You knew it. You lied. As a current cancer patient, I completely understand never wanting to see another doctor again, but you do. Thank you, Apples, for sharing that. I'm sorry you were going through that. Okay. Side note to members of the media. Oh, thanks. I will send you my patient portal login information so you can confirm. Are we still doing this? Body. Okay, fine. You know what? You're bluffing. You won't send it to me. And even if you do, it'll be an HCG test. So, do you have anything other than HCG test? If you do, I want to see it. If you have actual medical documentation, not coming from you, that I can see that'll prove you're pregnant, not positive for HCG, love to see it. Though, honestly, I'll tell you, you should have shown it to the court. The backstory. Let's backtrack a bit. Oh, good. This again. Okay. I had a one-night stand with former Bachelor star Clayton Eckard. Let's talk about this one-night stand. Did you or did you not accuse Clayton Eckard of raping you? I'm going to answer that for her. Yes, she did. So then why did you send him an email begging him to feel how fucking tight you are because he hasn't yet because you haven't had sex in a year or more? And now you're referring to it as a one-night stand. You're just hurting yourself by writing this shit. But as long as you do it, I'm happy to point out why it's wrong. Interestingly, he was later found in violation by the Arizona Department of Real Estate for not submitting offers on 2 properties that he had me sign, totaling $1.1 million. But that's another story. Actually, it's not interestingly. It's not interesting at all. It's fucking boring. It's tired. It's been put to rest, and it means nothing. So, pick another word. I didn't want to become pregnant. At all. Well, that's good, because you didn't. I told him after he invited me to his apartment late one night in May of 2023 that I would come over to cuddle, but that I didn't want to have sex. Well, you didn't have sex, so... also, nobody is sending, nude or semi-nude photos or, provocative photos to say, I want to come over and just cuddle. That's just... No, that's nonsensical. If you want to just go over and cuddle, you just text, hey, I want to cuddle. You know what I mean? I would probably never do that, but I'm not going to fake a pregnancy either, so here we are. KK, is a BJ a one-night stand? Apparently. Okay. A couple of weeks after the positive pregnancy test at an urgent care facility, Clayton again invited me to his apartment, this time under false pretenses. Not this again. Telling me he just wanted to talk. In reality, he wanted me to take a pregnancy test that he had bought in front of him. I took it, and it was positive. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. It actually reminds... I can relate to her struggles here because one time I went over to my mom's house for dinner and I thought she was making spaghetti, but she actually made barbecue chicken and broccoli, and I was like, I didn't know she was making broccoli. So, my mother's a fucking fraud. She's a fraud. There's no way around it. I'm sorry, this is so stupid. You know what? You could have said no. You could have walked out the door. I've said this before. A man has every right to want you to take a pregnancy test. That's not a problem. You can say no, but you didn't. So, this sounds like a whole lot of your fucking problem. His reaction? Devastated, he leaned over on his counter, head in his hands. This wasn't the behavior of someone who believed the test meant nothing. Wow, imagine that. You're making him feel crazy because you're lying to him. He doesn't understand why or how this could have happened because you guys didn't have sex. So yeah, it's completely, devastating for his whole life to turn upside down because all of a sudden he doesn't just get to be Clayton Eckerd. He is God, the father of the Immaculate Son. Pretty devastating. He doesn't want to deal with everyone's mess. However, according to what Clayton said in his deposition, the box said it was a pregnancy test. And that's what they market it for people who are truthful and don't lie about being pregnant. That's a whole sentence. Nothing to say about that. Wait a minute. A pregnancy test that Clayton himself purchased gave a positive result, but it wasn't accurate because I was supposedly lying. No, you were lying. And the test somehow detected that? Makes sense. That's dumb. Okay. Why I filed the case? Because you're a psycho who got away with it for too long. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. After Clayton saw the results for himself, he texted me the next morning to say that he knew I wasn't a liar. And he made it clear that he had no intention of co-parenting, which is what I wanted. I wanted nothing from him besides that. No money, nothing. Just a plan to figure out scheduling because he had said I would have to give up the pregnancy for adoption, have an abortion, or one of us would take 100% custody. So it sounds like you guys aren't going to share. So what is there to figure out as far as scheduling? Ma'am? Christina Nicole says she had the fake test in her bra when she went to the bathroom. That's actually kind of smart. Like in an evil way, but it's kind of smart. And you might be right about that. I can't say that for sure, though. What I can say for sure is that this is dumb. So, Reg Angel 444, hey, how's it going? All right. I'm sorry, I'm just reading over this because I'm like, this doesn't make sense at all. I wanted nothing from him besides that. Okay, then why the fuck did you... Okay. I mean, since he's God, the father of the Immaculate Son, you could just pray about it, I guess. But sure, let's go to court. During his deposition earlier this year, he said, I told her I'd give her a chance so that I could try to find a way to potentially end the situation. Okay. Not denying that, but I'm pretty sure anyone in their right mind would want to end that situation. You were trying to drive the guy crazy. Right? Nobody blames him for that behavior when you were saying something impossible and then yet gaslighting him with evidence. Chris Jenner says, I got OP fraud ideas. What does that mean? I mean, guys, there's any number of ways she could have tested positive on that HCG test, but to be honest, it doesn't matter because we know that she was lying. Sure, she had HCG in her system, but she wasn't pregnant. Lucretia Goris, good night. Thank you for coming by. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. My former attorney then asked, hold on, why is he your former attorney? What happened there? How many attorneys did you have? Was it 1, 2? Was it more than that? You would give her a chance in regard to the two of you having a relationship. Clayton responded, yes, it was a lie. I had no intention of giving her a chance. I was basically going to tell her what she wanted to hear to see if she'd go away. Dude, she's stalking him. There's nothing wrong with his response. Like, he just wants to get her away from him and be safe. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You cannot badger, harass, stalk people when they've asked you to leave them alone, when they have asked you not to have contact with them, when they have told you they don't want a relationship, when they have told you they don't want to talk to you. You cannot do that. And then later be like, but they were mean, so he lied. Okay? That's stupid. Crystal Turner, thank you for coming by. Good night. See you tomorrow. All right. When pressed further by my former attorney, and what do you mean by that, is to see if she would move forward with an abortion, Clayton's reply was chillingly simple. Yeah. Chillingly simple. Chillingly simple that he wanted to get away from his stalker and didn't want a life tied by a child to his abuser. This is abuse. Why I went public with the case. We all know the answer to that one. God. Okay. I need to chill out because let's take a little break. Hang on. Okay. I need a break because usually I approach her stuff with like, you know, some sense of like rationality. I'm like really paying attention to her behavior and not what she's saying. And as I'm reading this, it's hard for me to separate that. So hang on. I wanna get a little distraction here. Let's try this. Let's see if this is good.
Yay! Good girl. Good job, Carly.
Oh, there's another one.
You rolling down the hill?
A flat hill. Oh, that was cute.
What are you doing?
This is the same puppy.
That's got to go on YouTube.
That guy's working hard. Oh. It's goofy. That one's never gonna get up. What is happening? I thought that was a cat for a second. Ugh, that was nice. Sorry guys, Laura's boring me. Elizabeth S., thank you for the 20. Don't ever be sorry for being authentic. Love the puppy break. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Yeah, no. So usually like I'm more prepared before I read stuff like this. Like I've usually read it before, and like I said, I was on Omar's stream right before this, and then we skimmed over it a lot, so I didn't honestly, like pay too much attention to like every word. So now reading it, I'm just like, I want to argue with everything, and I'm making the same mistake that I think everyone else makes, which is to stop paying attention to what she's saying because we already know it's wrong, and start paying attention to what she's doing. Okay, she's arguing the same thing over and over with bigger words, larger paragraphs, different examples, hoping that'll somehow become more credible. It won't, because it's all a lie. So I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna calm down a little bit, and we'll just chill while we read the rest of this. Yeah. Okay. It is the same thing every single day. Like she is on repeat with everything she posts. Yeah, that's true. Guys, you'll find that puppies and screaming goats are very effective. Literally 1 minute of that, we can reset. So we're good. Okay. Why I went public with the case. I went public with the case because Clayton refused to respond to my repeated attempts to get him to take the prenatal paternity test. I had paid for the test on August 15th, but despite my efforts to schedule it, he never complied and it had to be canceled. Okay. During his deposition, Clayton acknowledged the attempts to contact him for the paternity test, but suggested that they might have been calling a wrong number, although he was clearly CC'd on an email sent by me on August 18th, stating, "Unfortunately, Clayton Eckert has refused to take the prenatal paternity test that I had scheduled at Exam 1 in Phoenix on Wednesday, August 23rd. He saw this email but did not respond." Well, because you were emailing him excessively, calling him, texting him, you wouldn't shut the fuck up. Alright. So I'm trying to keep up with the comments here. Gorilla BFF, just adding some embellishments to the story, that's for sure. Okay. So here she's saying, like, she sent an email. Clearly CC'd on an email sent by me, stating, "Unfortunately, he has refused to take the test." Not by the provider, not by the testing side, by her. So, knowing that she has a propensity to make things up, how is that a compelling, like, thing? Like, okay, you're making more shit up? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, I don't get it. But okay. Puppies rolling in grass. Puppies rolling in grass. After I went public, my suspicions were confirmed. The publicity compelled Clayton to respond. Well, yeah, anybody would if you were slandering them all over. On September 21st, he shared the receipts on his Instagram saying, "This is the timeline. The truth will always set you free." In an effort to make it look like he had been cooperating all along, that was not the case. Well, I don't know. Not cooperating and not doing exactly what his stalker wants him to do are two different things. So. One second, guys. Okay. The high profile influence. I'm sorry, but Clayton, before we read the rest of this, Clayton is regarded as a not well liked bachelor, so this is pretty low profile, if you ask me. But it seems clear to me that Judge Mata would not have allowed this case to go on if Clayton had not been a former bachelor star. If we were both jobless and poverty stricken, what the fuck would you know about that? Okay. I have no doubt that she would have let me dismiss the case after I miscarried. Well, that never happened, so of course she didn't let you dismiss it after you miscarried. There was no miscarriage. Therefore, there was no dismissal. Once I lost the pregnancy, there was no longer a paternity issue to resolve, and no parenting plan was necessary. But because Clayton had a high-profile status, Judge Mata seemed determined to drag this case out. Or did it have anything to do with the oh gosh, what was it? The fabricated ultrasound? I feel like we're missing the point just a little bit here. Adding another bizarre twist to this ordeal, as you always are, Laura. I later learned that Judge Mata's father attended the evidentiary hearing, allegedly mingling with Clayton's supporters in the overflow room and describing the case as a shit show and a circus. It's hard to comprehend that my pregnancy loss was reduced to a sideshow spectacle for anyone, let alone a member of the judge's family. Well, yeah, you took it to the media, a tabloid no less, and you brought it to the public's attention. You went to Reddit. You went to everybody, trying to get everybody on your side, trying to get everybody to talk about it. You wanted to pressure him. When the pressure was on you, because the evidence came out, when facts started to come to light, you didn't like it. And so now you're saying things like, reduced to a sideshow spectacle. Ma'am, you brought the sideshow spectacle. I wouldn't know who you are. I wouldn't give a fuck if you hadn't brought the sideshow spectacle. So, that, or maybe you could have just stopped abusing men who don't want to date you. There's that. Lemur Yellowtail says, "Oh no, I wonder why he didn't want to answer her crazy messages." Which time? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oddly enough, Judge Mata ruled against me just hours after my attorney, David Gingras, informed her office of our intention to file a notice for change of judge for cause. Or maybe she wasn't expecting any communication from him since he said he was going to be on vacation on a boat and not able to respond. Just a thought. It seems too coincidental that such a ruling, almost entirely in Clayton's favor, would come within hours after we signaled our lack of confidence in her impartiality. Honestly, ma'am, your attorney was signaling his lack of confidence in her impartiality on Twitter weeks before. So it's not that sus. But good for you leaving out stuff. Justice for Clayton and its influence. Hold on. I'm gonna need a sip. Puppies. Puppies rolling in the grass. Elizabeth S. says the whole miscarriage lie makes me so angry as a woman who had 3 of them. It's so insulting to hear crap. No, I feel you. I get it. I'm I'm usually pretty good at just kind of getting through this and being factual and like not really arguing with every sentence, but like I get it for sure. It's pretty it's pretty heinous, I guess is the word I want to use. It's pretty heinous. Like, dude, this is foul. But here we are trying to maintain our cool, so that's fun. Soon after the public learned about the paternity case, the Justice for Clayton movement emerged online. Since September, thousands of hours of contents from obsessed wannabe YouTuber stars and lawtubers have fueled a cult-like following on their monetized channels. Okay, ma'am. Well, as I've said before, you know what? I should not repeat that. I'm not going to repeat it. Let's just say I had some choice words about this from long before I was monetized or ever thought about getting monetized. So, these self-proclaimed defenders of Clayton have relentlessly attacked my character, questioning my motives and integrity. What motives and integrity? Well, motives I get. What integrity, though? As I've said before, this could have all been solved if the wizard at the end of the Yellow Brick Road had just granted Laura Owens some integrity. Their narrative paints me as a manipulative liar out to trap a celebrity, so it's a nonfiction. A celebrity who himself admits I didn't want to sleep with him. Congratulations, you guys didn't sleep together. Okay. Judge Mata's decision appears eerily aligned with the rhetoric spewed by these online crusaders. Her ruling, lacking in fairness and empathy, suggests a bias that seems too coincidental to ignore. Yeah, no. No. Sorry, no. This would be like a judge like ruling in a much more severe case that like somebody had committed a seriously violent crime, and then the person who committed the violent crime, knowing that they did it, points to Twitter and being like, the judge is just saying what Twitter says. That's fucking stupid. Katie Heindel, she acts like this narrative was created because it's juicy. At this point, the juiciest story would be if she suddenly produced an ultrasound and proved pregnancy, not her reiterating her same tired lies. No, I definitely agree with that. Janine M. I love the fixation on the monetized YouTubers. Her constant self-references about her professional accolades, TEDx talk, etc. suggest she is positively green with envy. Well, you know, it's interesting. She spouts those things off like it's her resume, you know what I mean? But all of it is based on lies, in my opinion. Okay. The online attacks have put me through hell. Geez, sort of like the disgusting fictitious blog you posted about Michael Marraccini the other night. Gosh. Wonder how that feels. Yesterday, one user even commented on content creator Dave Neal's Discord. Oh, good. Good. I see you're filling out your free time with better things to do. Let her see what the world knows about her and thinks about her. Think about the worst, most embarrassing, horrible, shameful thing you've ever done. Then think about everyone watching it, talking about it, confirming it. Let her stay here and see what we think and know. What they know? None of them know what happened between me and Clayton, but refuse to accept the truth. I did not fake my pregnancy. Ma'am. Ma'am. We have been over this. You had no confirmation of pregnancy. You had HCG in your system. I'll say what I said the other night again. If she wants to send me, or no, not even she, it can't come from her. It has to be verified by the third party medical provider. If the medical provider at Planned Parenthood Los Angeles confirms an ultrasound taken on Laura Owens on the date she said she went, I'll shut the fuck up. Right? But that's not going to happen because she lied. Why did she lie? Because she knew she wasn't pregnant. Because the whole pregnancy was a lie. And they never had sex. And he definitely didn't fucking rape her. Oh, good lord. Not this again. Alright. Alright. Hold on. Before this woman exploits people with real, depression problems, let me just take another break. Hold on. We won't watch the whole thing, don't worry.
Yeah.
That one's fucked up.
What?
That's crazy as shit.
What can I do for you?
Holy fuck. Alright, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. Screaming goat chest. So I've made, and like probably not that many people know this, but like when I was starting to make videos, I made a video about this, which is like, I call it goat brain, right? So if I ever get really anxious about something, hold on, let me share the screen again. If I ever get really anxious about something, I'm really worried about something, the build up is like one of the worst parts. So what I do, and the example I use is like an ex, like not this most recent ex, but an ex from years ago. She lived with her family, and the family was not like super like accepting of lesbian gym teacher types. So when I would walk up to the door to ring the doorbell, I started doing this thing that I called brain screaming, which is where I would just like think, because I'm not so much a visual person as a sound person. So I would just think of like the most horrible, bizarre swear word tirade I could think of, and I would just like concentrate on it. I would concentrate on it so hard as I walked up to the door, and then I rang the doorbell, and I would just like keep thinking about it until the second they opened the door, and then I just wouldn't worry about it anymore. And then eventually it turned from a swearing tirade into goat screaming. So now I call it goat brain. So I do goat brain whenever I'm worried about something. If you're really worried about taking a test, if you're really worried about something at work, whatever, or if you're like walking up to it, the build up to it, you just gotta think about a goat screaming. Just think about it as loud as it can be. Just like really focus on the sound, what it sounds like for that goat to scream. So that's a thing for me. Anyways, hey Cam, how's it going? Okay. Anyways, the reality of my depression. After learning that I was pregnant, I was overwhelmed and unsure of what to do. Not really. Not really, it seems. The pregnancy was unplanned, and Clayton was far from supportive. This uncertainty took a massive toll on my mental health. I took prescribed prenatal vitamins and rested in bed most days. Okay, so she said they were prescribed. Who prescribed them? Who prescribed them? Prove it. Prove it. I'm trying to take care of myself. Deep down, I didn't want to have an abortion, but I also feared a situation where the alleged father would have no alleged father. I like that she's saying that now. Would have no involvement once I gave birth. I was hoping for clarity that never came. Okay, wait. I also feared a situation where the alleged father would have no involvement once I gave birth. That doesn't add up, does it? It's not even that. Let's go to why I filed the case or whatever it was. I hate that I know the name of these chapters. Okay. Then he made it clear that he had no intention of co-parenting, which is what I wanted. Let me just, to be fair, let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Okay. Okay. Let's look at point A and point B here. Okay. So, towards the beginning of the article, then he made it clear that he had no intention of co-parenting, which is what I wanted. Okay. She doesn't want him to co-parent. That's her ideal situation. Allegedly. Okay. Down here, when she's like pretending that her mental health problems are, I'm sure, much worse than what they are. Deep down, I didn't want to have an abortion, but I also feared a situation where the alleged father would have no involvement. Huh. No intention of co-parenting, which is what I wanted. But I also feared a situation where the alleged father would have no involvement once I gave birth. What is the truth? You're contradicting yourself at this point. Don't bother editing it. People have archived it by now. I was hoping for clarity that never came. Okay. Sure. My doctor advised... Which doctor? I'm sorry, could you specify? Was it a telehealth provider or... Was it Dr. Higley, was it? Dr. Higley? My doctor advised that I continue taking my antidepressants, even though they posed a risk during pregnancy, because they were crucial for my mental stability. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. They would put you on a medication that was, lower risk. Also, antidepressants, you can take antidepressants while you're pregnant. Essentially, I let nature take its course. Tragically, I eventually had a miscarriage. So are you saying you let yourself have a miscarriage? Is that what we're saying here? This is gross. Whatever. I don't know which doctor she's talking about here, because it could be one of many she doctor shops so that she doesn't have to tell the truth from doctor to doctor, in my opinion. But, sure, let's go with that. But, also, she really wanted Clayton not to be involved, but she was terrified and upset that Clayton wouldn't be involved. So, let's go with that. Reg Angel, there's only a few safe for pregnancy. True, there's only a few safe for pregnancy, but you can switch to a medication safe for pregnancy rather than going cold turkey, stopping everything altogether. Like, it's not like if you have issues with depression, there are options. And your doctor's probably not going to advise that you continue to take antidepressants that are going to cause a health risk for you. So, if they pose a risk during pregnancy, what she's getting here is that they pose a risk to the babies, right? The babies. the babies, which were non-existent, but they pose a risk to the pregnancy. She might miscarry the babies. What happens if you miscarry the babies and then you don't go see a doctor? You don't go to the emergency room. You could get septic and you could die. So somebody who's not getting in-person care, if the doctor's advising to continue taking antidepressants, that might definitely, but might cause a miscarriage or have problems or lend problems to the babies. That's extremely dangerous. And since she said she wanted sole custody in the beginning of this article, I'm thinking everything's going the way she wanted it to. So why wouldn't she take care of the babies? Who prescribed those prenatals? And why? Because you weren't pregnant. Janine M. Doctor probably isn't going to make a determination on depression meds without talking and creating a plan with the OBGYN. Yeah, true. But what OBGYN? you know? All right. Despite my efforts and the difficult circumstances, the judge labeled me uncredible and unreliable for not seeking prenatal care. Didn't you just say you were prescribed prenatal vitamins? You were just talking about your care with your doctor. That's interesting. Okay. So you did or did not seek prenatal care? Because it sure sounds like you didn't. She said that wasn't reasonable. Okay. Do you want to give some context? This is the same issue with the real estate article. Context is everything in this scenario. Like, a reasonable person might have these thought processes, like, in a normal situation, but this is not a normal situation because the person in question is lying. But according to the Guttmacher Institute, nearly half of pregnancies in the United States are unplanned, and many women do not seek prenatal care until well into their pregnancies, if at all. This means fucking nothing, because you said you knew you were pregnant, 11 days after the blowjobs? The blowjobs, which would not have caused babies, by the way. But since you decided you were having an immaculate pregnancy, you knew, 11 days after. You're saying that nearly half of pregnancies in the United States are unplanned. They don't seek prenatal care until after they're well into their pregnancies. That's not you. And this is what I was saying in the very beginning of this diary entry. She will try to relate to large groups of people and then somehow twist it so those large groups of people might relate to her. Because when you write something this long, this stupid, and this confusing, maybe, just maybe, she might get to someone in there. And that's not the fault of the person on the receiving end, right? Because they're just trying to believe women. But this woman's a liar, so. Jam says, I still believe she was getting fertility drugs. Oftentimes, prenatal vitamins are given when getting fertility drugs. Yeah, I mean, that could be it too. That could be true. Big Tiff says, I almost lost my shit 14 times tonight. What happened? Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not ignoring this. As the world burns, thank you for the 10. Should father consider suing due to mother taking reckless risk with dangerous meds, resulting in loss of children? That hurts either way, even when she denies it. Still, father has doubts and damages. Yeah, in like a normal scenario, maybe. But unfortunately, the babies in this case were, they were fabricated. They were fantastical. They were fictitious. They did not exist. They were Casper babies. But thank you for the 10. I appreciate that. And yes, you're being your point makes sense. You're being very rational. Unfortunately, we are dealing with a woman who does not want to work with the rational. So, dude, I didn't switch the screen back, did I? Sorry, guys. Hang on. There we go. Nobody ever mentioned heartbeats either. Isn't that odd? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I have a woman who has, had experience with pregnancy and poverty and stuff like that, and she wants to come on and give her thoughts when we're done reading this, and I'm going to let her do that. So that'll be cool. Let's see. Many can't afford prenatal care. Are these women not entitled to file a paternity case if they know they're pregnant and want to set up a parenting plan prior to giving birth? Judge Mata's ruling essentially says they're not. This is a fucking distraction. Okay? Like we just said, she knew, allegedly, very early on that she was pregnant, so it has nothing to do with women who didn't know well into their pregnancies. All right? She's trying to dig in emotionally and trying to make it make sense to a large population of people, and she's doing the same thing right here. Many can't afford prenatal care. So now all of a sudden, she's trying to scare people in poverty, people who can't afford prenatal care, into believing her. Because, oh my God, if you don't believe me that this ruling is awful, then you might be fucked too. The difference is, those women are telling the truth. And this is exactly what I meant today when I posted that article supporting Mike Marraccini. We will not let her exploit our experiences in order to twist the system and hurt other people. That is bullshit. The baseless accusations. Well, let's start with the twin pregnancy then. That was a baseless accusation. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm messaging this person. Judge Mata's ruling relied on what she termed a serial pattern of fabrications on my part. Let's be clear, I have never faked a pregnancy, and there's no proof that I did. There's proof that you faked ultrasounds. Multiple. There's, maybe not in court, there's not proof. There's proof of at least one from the court. But there's proof that you faked HCG tests. Proof that you faked those things, that's good enough. All right? You wouldn't fake those things if you were actually pregnant. You wouldn't have to. So, that's proof enough for me. My supposed serial issue, as she put it, is that I am 34 and I've been pregnant multiple times, had 2 miscarriages and 2 abortions. That story has changed quite a bit, hasn't it? For this, I am being referred to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and sanctioned, facing hundreds of thousands in attorney's fees. Is that why she was sanctioned? Or was it because she perjured herself? Okay. Was it because she tampered with evidence? I don't remember. Let's just take her word for it. Thanks, Judge Judy. Judge Mata's ruling seems to be heavily influenced by Clayton's very public statements that I had faked pregnancies in the past, because you did, which was supported by 2 exes, both of whom I have restraining orders against. I also have one against Clayton. Congratulations, you're still a fucking liar. While they were supposed to be witnesses, neither of them ended up testifying in court. Cool. They ran out of time. Okay. One of these exes, against whom I have had a California domestic violence restraining order since 2018, was permitted by Judge Mata to travel across state lines to testify about my 2023 pregnancy with Clayton. This ex, who had no relevant knowledge, except your history of ovarian cancer and having an ovary removed. That's pretty fucking relevant. You know what? Guys, I'm not going to read this because we all know that Michael Marraccini is telling the truth and that Laura Owens is slandering him for absolutely no reason at all. There is no evidence to prove that Michael Marraccini ever abused her, and I will not support this stupid, fraudulent restraining order by reading any more of her long-ass lies because they don't make sense. They didn't make sense then. They didn't make sense now. The system failed Mike Marraccini. The system failed all these men. And she's a fucking liar. So we're going to skip this. Okay. An insane injustice. God damn, you're long-winded. Judge Mata's ruling suggests that I should have taken these positive tests, seen the positive results, been told by medical providers that I was pregnant, and understood that they meant nothing. Okay, your medical providers told you that you had HCG in your system. They did not tell you were pregnant. It never happened. You did not get an ultrasound at Planned Parenthood, not in Mission Viejo, not in LA, not anonymously, not under a false name. Otherwise, you would have shown it to the court. It did not happen. You're a liar. The absurdity of this notion is beyond comprehension, and it doesn't even feel like real life. There were no prerequisites for filing my paternity case. Okay, so congratulations. Your shitty behavior wasn't technically illegal? Like, I don't know. You did a whole bunch of illegal things during the proceedings. This is irrelevant. No requirement for ultrasound sonograms, and yet you fake them anyways. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Yet the judge ruled that my pregnancy and subsequent miscarriage weren't real. Because the judge rules based, not baked, on facts. The Arizona Department of Economic Security clearly states that a mother can file based on her belief in the pregnancy. I don't think she believed she was pregnant. I'll say that. It's my opinion. That's my belief. I'm allowed to say that. I do not believe that Laura Owens believed she was pregnant. She was not pregnant, but I don't believe that she believed she was pregnant. So, I had multiple positive at-home tests for HCG, a urine test at a medical facility for HCG, and a blood test at a lab for HCG, all confirming that I had HCG in my system and not a baby. In addition to photos and videos showing my pregnant belly, unconfirmed, not even going to acknowledge that. Okay. My attorney is confident we will reverse the ruling on appeal, and while that might correct the legal wrongs, it can't erase the stain this ordeal has left on my life. Winning it won't erase the Google searches, as they shouldn't. The court documents, or the headlines. Until then, I've lost more than just a court case. I've lost my peace, my dignity, and my faith in humanity. Well, you should have fucking thought about that when you took all those things away from Greg Gillespie and Mike Marraccini. I have no sympathy for this person. And that's coming from somebody who has way more sympathy than they know what to do with. The emotional toll is beyond words. I spent countless nights awake, haunted by the weight of this nightmare, plagued by anxiety and fear. Take a Xanax. The constant public scrutiny, the whispers behind my back, the unrelenting judgment. They all cling to me, casting a long, dark shadow over every aspect of my life. My every interaction is now tainted by this case. You know why? Because you went to the tabloids, you went to the press. You know why? Because you brought it to Reddit. You started the conversation with all these strangers. And then once they found out you were lying, you didn't like it. No sympathy. And why? Because Clayton's celebrity status as a former bachelor likely swayed the court to take a keen interest in my case. Wow, that's interesting because a lot of people don't even watch The Bachelor who have been following this case. Because strangers who are part of the Justice for Clayton cult have dedicated their lives to tearing mine apart, dissecting every detail of my life, spreading venomous hate, and creating such a frenzy that even the judge's father attending the hearing calling it a shit show. Oh. So you're saying outright now that the judge's father called it a shit show. Can you prove that? Are you sure that's a fact? Interesting. Because the legal protections meant to safeguard me were blatantly ignored. Nope. They were meant to safeguard pregnant women. You were not pregnant. All because the judge chose to believe the improbable over the undeniable. That's a joke. Alright. Well, guys, don't get me wrong, I love a bedtime story, but that's not the kind of fiction I was looking for tonight. That being said, a friend of mine is gonna come on here and talk about her experiences with pregnancy and poverty and talk about why this is so offensive. I can pull the article back up if she wants me to. Hang on, let me give her the link real quick. And guys, I think we're gonna have to do game night tomorrow night because it is already 11 o'clock here, but hold on, let me just give her the link and we'll see what happens, okay? Okay. All right. We're just waiting for her to get that StreamYard link. Okay. So while she's getting that set up, I can. I'm just gonna drone on a little bit. Anyways, let me make sure. Yeah, I saw all the stars. You know what? I want to try something. I want to see, because I don't know if this will work. I want to see if this will work. So I'm just gonna test it once. So like, if I wanted to give you guys memberships for free, like how would that work? Hang on. Okay. Let me see if it works. If it doesn't, then that sucks. Oh, there we go. I can give to my own channel. Like, I was like, I wonder if I can just like give some people, because then we can do like, if somebody wins a game on game night, then you could have a gifted or something. I guess I can't direct it to you, so I'd have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, it does work. It does work, right? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Oh, class of '83, you got one. Guys, I don't pick. It's just random. Yeah, it's just random. I would pick you if I could pick. I can't pick though. It won't let me. Kamikan says, Lauren, the gifted memberships is so cool. I haven't seen a creator do that before. Yeah, we'll probably do something on Thursday or Friday this week that'll be like members only. And then anybody who has a membership to the channel can join in. So like I'll do like, it'll be like a members only post or a members only videos, so like nobody else can access it. So thank you, Big Tiff. I haven't seen it yet. I've been really busy, but I'll take a look as soon as I can. Okay. It is random. Yeah. No, it's random as fuck. You also have to have gifted enabled. Apples is a new member. Oh, cool. Apples, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Drunk Turtle Nation. I'll have something lined up for you guys on Thursday or Friday. We'll do something fun, you know. Hold on. Okay. Sally Turner. I'm old enough to be your grandma. Well, I don't know how old that is. So I'm 31. How old is old enough to be my grandma? Wrong answers only, guys, in the chat. Where is Bruce? I haven't seen Bruce. Have I? No, he was in Elmer's for a little bit. He's also 3 hours behind, so I'm sure he's doing something. Why haven't 50 of you... Why haven't 50 of you people watching hit the like button yet? Explain yourselves, please. If you don't like this video, you hate the puppies rolling in the grass. So, just saying. 71. Okay, that's not... You're not, like, old. You're good. I'm 50, so maybe 70. Bronco Fett. Yeah, okay. Okay. Fair enough. You're, like, a few years older than me. It's fine. Love and Sue Andre Andrews Cross. She says, I'm on prescribed prenatals, which would suggest she got them from a doctor. So why is she playing the poverty angle? I don't know. She's never... as far as I know, she's never been in poverty. So that's fucking weird. But yeah, again, when I started reading this, I was like, this woman is going to try to play to the experiences of a lot of people and then use it to scare them. Be like, this ruling will hurt you too, so you better believe me. Like, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. Keep scratching my head wondering why Elo keeps hanging her hat on VAWA. There's no prohibition in VAWA on appearing as a subpoena witness. I don't know, because it's honestly, it's like startling when you think of the Violence Against Women Act and you think about like how it would be invoked. You think of like the man must be violent, right? You don't think of like she has a fraudulent restraining order. So yeah, I'm guessing that's why. Because she thinks it's going to make her more credible, more believable, more appealing, I guess. That is my opinion. So Mana's ruling isn't going to hurt anyone who can actually prove their pregnancy, and proving isn't exactly hard. Yep, you're right about that. While there's no explicit allow in VAWA, there's no deny, and that controls. Gotcha. Oh, Grammy D, thank you. Oh, I listen to everything you put out, and I like it too. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this article back up. Can't believe I'm gonna click on it again. Just give me a minute. Because my friend might want to point out some stuff from it. My God, there are so many now. I'm like, which one? What was it titled again? Oh, there it is. Yo, I forgot to mention this. Hang on. Okay, so I look far more pregnant than she looks in these pictures, and I've just eaten like way too many carbs. So, just saying. Actually, the court is restrained from placing Mike in jeopardy. They can't jail him for not appearing by subpoena, but also jail him for appearing and breaking a VPO. Yeah. Right. TM. Lauren, has she posted anywhere else today? I'm not sure. So, like, when I find out about these things, it's through like a third party, right? So, like, somebody will send me a link or be like, "Oh, there's a new Medium thing or whatever," and they're fast. Let me tell you, because there are people like really on top of this shit. But I don't like. She's not important enough for me to like spend like work hours. Like if I'm working during the day from 9 to 5, I'm not going to be like watching Laura Owens, you know what I mean? Like people who have like the free time who are like curious or interested, they might see that pop up and that's why they send it to me. But like if I'm doing something or if I'm like I was over at my mom's house eating dinner and like I'm not watching out for like her crap because it's like all the same at this point, right? So I don't know if she posted anywhere else because nobody sent anything like that to me as far as I know. But you know, she's just not that important. In Iowa, you can qualify for Medicaid. Oh, there's hang on. Yeah, just by being pregnant, you don't have to prove it. You just claim you are, fill out paperwork. Huh. Damn. I wonder if how many people have taken advantage of that, dude. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I pulled up this article again, and then I know she had talked about like poverty-stricken, jobless, families or people or whatever. And I know that you had some stuff you wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna give you the floor for a minute actually while I go downstairs and get some water. So,
okay.
I'll be back in like 3 minutes or something.
So it's poverty story time, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So some background about me. I'm almost 40, and as a child, I was born into very poor circumstances with a very young mother and a very abusive father. Um, we didn't have a lot, and I know my mom received prenatal care at that time. I think it was Medicaid. after the basically the church helped us get to a domestic violence shelter when I was like, I don't know, like 2.5, and my little brother was probably 6 months old. We were put on WIC, and I know that my brother was born also. My mother received prenatal care because the state of California paid for it. And so her talking about poverty really has struck a nerve with me because what she is saying is really undermining actually the resources that are available to women who are pregnant. Um, let's see. And then the other thing that happens is I'm in the state of Texas, which has one of the worst postpartum plans for women. I think they cover the first year of a mother's health care, her and baby. Baby will go on to have additional health care, providing that the woman, meets the income qualifications. Um, let's see. I can't see the chat. Let me see if I can open up and see if there's anything going on. Um, and so, long story short, like I am such a testimony to what the government is doing and can doing. And like I said, I'm 40 years, almost 40 years old. So this is nothing new. So for Laura Owens to say that there's no help for you if you're pregnant is completely fabricated. It's fraud. And she is weaponizing what it is to actually be a woman who is finds themselves pregnant, wanting to keep the child, and wanting to do what's best for the child and themselves. Because not only is it important for the child to have health care, but it's also important for the mother to have health care. And so moving on from that, I think we were on WIC. And if you're not familiar with WIC, it is one of the best organizations. I believe it's funded under the USDA bill. It's one of those programs that actually, from what I understand, is in a little bit of jeopardy right now. They're actually looking at defunding WIC. And I know this because one of my neighbors actually does marketing for a grocery store here in Texas. They're a chain that actually, what's
Let
really
me know if
cool.
did I get the right tab here? Like, is this the right thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, so I just really want to bring attention to some resources actually for women. And like I said, there's no shame. Like I'm a child who was on all of these services. Like I was a Head Start baby. I was a WIC baby. I was, a child who was brought to a police station because my father hit me on the back so hard when I was 4 years old, and was told that there was nothing that they were going to do for me. So for her to just say that these things don't exist is just really disgraceful to
Yeah.
how far we've come. I feel like as a society.
Well, she definitely plays on those kind of things and uses the legal system to be like basically like you're in danger, kind of. I feel
Yeah.
like really undermining the other kind of things that are out there for somebody who is actually, like you said, like actually like pregnant or actually has kids. And so that was kind of the theme of the day. I feel like because she's really trying to get in like anyone and everyone's head and be like, you need to be on my side or else. So
Well, she's talking to rich people. You have to keep that in mind. She
yeah,
doesn't hang out with poor people. So if you look
no,
at her circle of influence,
yeah,
she has her horse friends,
Mhm.
which the barrier to entry in that sport it's so high. Even your middle class isn't probably having that much access to horse
yeah,
and town. You know,
yeah.
we might get to go to the petting zoo.
Dude, I love the fucking petting zoo.
Yeah, same. There's nothing wrong with that. Or maybe you're getting one lesson a month, or you happen to go to a birthday party where there's horses, but most people don't have the access that she does
Mhm.
to that arena. And then I'm not sure what she does otherwise socially. I know hanging out with the San Francisco socialites.
Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about this woman's social life. I just know that she's kind of heinous. But she I don't know when you brought up, I guess, the things about the like horses and stuff, that brings me back to like when I was younger, we would pass this flea market every time we went down to one of the college towns because my parents would drive us back and forth to go to games and stuff like that. And there would be like those little pony things with like the pony circles. And that was like the closest I ever got to riding like a horse for a long time. I don't know. That just brought me back for a second there. So
Yeah, most people remember their first time around a horse because it doesn't happen a lot, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I rode a horse once as an adult and I cried. the entire time.
Like real tears?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was 24 or 25. Yeah.
Was it horse therapy? Were you doing equine therapy?
No, my cousin, it was her birthday, or it wasn't her birthday, but it was her birthday present, and I was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was looking up stuff that she might like, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to go out here?" We went out to Amelia Island, which is where I live. It's like an hour or an hour and a half away, or something like that, and you ride horses on the beach, and I had never ridden a real horse in my life, and I barely remember the pony thing. So, and that was like the ponies were like attached to something, right? So like we got on the horses, and my horse was like not a nice horse, and the entire time I just remember like borderline screaming at my cousin because I was like she was getting so close, and I thought my horse was gonna take off, and I was like, I'm gonna die today. I'm gonna die today. Like this is it. And then I just decided never again. So.
I think you need to circle back and try again.
No. 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 Yep. Gosh. Good times. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. I don't know if you had any other thoughts about the article or like what it said or not article. I keep calling it an article. We're calling
So
it diary entries now. Sorry.
sure. So did she say that 50%?
Let's check that out.
Was that her statistic that she pulled out was 50%?
Maybe. I lose track because it changes.
Yeah, let's look at her statistics.
Let's see. Okay, this is not working for some reason. Hang on. What if I do a percent sign? There we go. Well, we got the 99.9%. We knew that. 100% custody. 99.9%. Okay. It was somewhere around here, or it was in the other article. It might have been in the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, but I know what you're talking about.
Where like 50% of mothers don't have access to adequate prenatal care.
Maybe it was half.
Yeah, so that statistic is
half. There we go. Nearly half of all pregnancies are unplanned, maybe prenatal care. Is that what you're talking about, or something else?
Yeah. So that's what hurts my brain whenever I read an article by her, is that if she could come in with some actual knowledge, this could be her opportunity to talk about, maybe she's very passionate about domestic violence. Maybe it's like a closet pseudo interest for her. Okay, great. You don't actually have to endure domestic violence to be an advocate. Everyone knows someone who has experienced domestic violence. That is enough,
Mm-hmm.
But so anyways, but back to the statistic. In 2022, 77% of live births were to women receiving early prenatal care. 16.3% were to women beginning care in the second trimester, and 6.8% were to women receiving late or no prenatal care.
Damn, that's a little bit of a different number.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, that's the theme here, I guess, isn't it?
Yes.
That's crazy. All right. Well, I'm it is 11:18 where I'm at, and I got work in the morning, so I'm probably gonna head out.
Awesome.
But you're welcome to join at another time. Maybe we'll do games or something, either tomorrow or the next night. So you're always welcome to join for that.
Sure. And if anyone is looking for resources too, maybe they can or have questions about this theme. Maybe we can go on to discuss that.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thank you for all you do. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Bye.
All right, guys. I'm gonna take off and go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do some games or something. I'll put up a poll for tomorrow or Wednesday, but that'll be it. So that is one of the nicest things you could say about him. What did I say? Oh, he's stupid. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Just look it on the community tab or on X for posts as far as like when the stream will be. Thank you to everybody who participated tonight. Thank you for being here. Love the support. Yeah, again, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, hold on.